So, you want to know how to wave? Well, step one, put your hand in the air and start shaking that thing. Hey guys, welcome back to Let's by Kai. I'm Kai, and today we are back once again taking a look at how to make a shockwave. And we're going to get started because it's super easy to do, really fun, looks really cool, I think. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Hit delete on your keyboard to get rid of default cube. We'll go ahead and drag a box by left clicking and dragging over top of the camera and the lamp. Hit Alt-G and Alt-R to clear the location and rotation of both the lamp and the camera. Select the camera just by clicking on it. Then hit G, then Y on your keyboard, and then drag it backwards. And then R on your keyboard, and then X. And then on your numpad on the right-hand side, the numbers hit 9, 0 to rotate at 90 degrees on the X-axis. Hit Enter to confirm that. And as you can see, we now have the camera set up and the lamp right in the center there. Go ahead and hit Shift A and we can search for an icosphere. And before we move or do anything, we're going to go ahead and open up this left-hand panel and change the subdivisions to 5. There we go. Nice. So let's go ahead and go to the Modifiers tab, hit Add Modifier, go to Displace, hit New, go down here to the Texture tab, and go ahead and add an ice cream cone. No, I'm joking. Go ahead and change this from Image and Movie to Clouds. So now we have something looks like this, which looks pretty cool, but not what we want though. So let's go ahead and go up to Object, check Shade Smooth. Needs to be a little bit more smooth, so we'll go ahead and go to the Modifiers tab, and we'll add a modifier of Subdivision Surface to make it sure it's a little bit more smooth like that. Very nice, cool. We go ahead and change around the strength and everything, but for now we'll just leave it on 1. There we go. Now if I go ahead and go to the rendered viewport shading, you can see that it looks like this. Which is really cool because the lamp is inside of said object. Now, there's something else I want to do here, so let's go ahead and actually add in a plane, so you just so you can see the effect. Go ahead and hit plane, S to scale it up. This is just so we can see the effect that I'm going to do in a moment, just so don't worry about that. Now, with the shockwave selected, we'll go ahead and go to the Material tab here, hit New, and then go ahead and scroll all the way down to Transmission, turn that bad boy up. We'll go to the Scene tab here, go to Screen Space Reflections. I can't even talk. Hello, English. I don't know that language at all. Screen Space Reflections, check that on, open it up, and check Refraction. Now we can go ahead and go back to the Material tab, scroll all the way down, and check Screen Space Refraction. Now you can see, well, you can barely see, but you can see that there is a little bit of a glass-like effect here. I'm going to go ahead and turn the roughness down a little bit and the specular all the way up. Now, with this done, what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and perhaps we can, I'm on the wrong one. Okay, nice. Well, let's get rid of the plane because we don't need that. Let's go ahead and change the color of the lamp. I want to change the color of the lamp to like a bluish color, like that, which looks really cool. I'm gonna go ahead and go to the Scene tab, the World tab, and change the color to solid black, and then hit 0 to go into the camera's view. As you can see, we have something looks like this, which looks really cool. Now, I do want to change maybe the scale of this, so it's a little bit smaller, maybe a little bit bigger actually. Make it a little bit bigger, a little smaller, you know what I mean? Now what I want to do is I want to add some subdivisions and whatnot. So let's go ahead and actually go to the Subdivision Surface modifier and change this up to maybe like 2 or something, and then we'll go ahead and right click, hit tab to go to edit mode, and then right click, hit subdivide, and maybe add a couple more subdivisions there as well. Now we're getting into some high detailed territory, so it might take a little bit longer depending on your PC. Now, you don't need to do that, of course. It looks perfectly fine the way that it was, like that. Just a little bit less lights. So, there we go. Now, with this all done, you can see that I really want to change the way the light is looking. So, we can actually go ahead and let's hit New Material actually real quick, and we'll hit this little drop down and select the material that says just Material. And what I want to do is I want to actually get rid of this other material we've created real quick. And now you can see when I go back and forth, we have like a really bright light there in the center. And now if I go back to the glass material, it's a little smaller, as you can see, because we've turned down the roughness and whatnot. I actually want to turn the roughness up to like 8, to like 0.8, sorry. So we'll turn the roughness up to like 0.8. There you go, looks good. I'm gonna call this one Matt, so we can just know which one it is. Apparently his name is Matt now. He has a family, a wife and kids. He's has a job at Costco. Well, 0 to go into the camera's view, and you can see I want to go ahead and make this a little bit smaller because it's a little too big right now. So we'll go ahead and change it to maybe Ooh, maybe 8.8 is a little too much. There we go. We'll do like this. And have it go all the way down. So we'll put it on like we'll put it on like maybe 0.8 to begin with, you know, and then we'll animate it, so don't worry about that. I'm going to change the strength to 0 to start off with, and now you can see what we're going to do here is I want to go ahead and select this. I want to go to the main tab here, the scene tab, yeah, there we go, and change this to frame rate to 60, so it's a little smoother, obviously. Change my start frame to 0, go to 0. And then we'll go ahead and hit, in the modifiers tab, I'll go ahead and hover my cursor over top of the strength button and make sure it's on 0. Then go to maybe like frame, I don't know, 70. And we'll change the strength to a solid 1. Hit I to insert that keyframe once again. And now you can see it kind of like transforms into that. I'm going to actually, I'm going to hide the subdivision surface so it's a little slow to run right now, as you can see. There you go. So it does like that, which looks really cool. I want it to be a little faster though, actually, so we'll go ahead and hit G to move the 70th keyframe to maybe 20. Maybe even faster, actually, to 10, and then we'll go to 50, and then we'll like push it way up, like to like 3. Yeah, put it on 3. 0. Hit I to insert a keyframe there. Go to like frame 100. Maybe change it to 3.5, so there's a little tiny bit of movement, and then hit I. Actually, maybe even less than that, 3.2. Hit I. And then on frame like 20 or maybe even frame 10, we can go ahead and put this down to 0. Hit I to insert that. Now we have this, goes up, comes down, which looks really cool. So I changed the in frame to 120, frame 120. Now we have this, like I said, it just will loop. But the thing is, that doesn't look too cool yet, so we'll go ahead and change a couple things. I mean, that looks decently cool, but I mean, we can do more. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to turn my overlays back on. Now we're also going to animate what was I going to animate? We're going to animate the lamp as well, and a couple other things as well. So let's go ahead and animate the roughness here, so you can see it does like that little movement that we were talking about. So animate the roughness, and we'll also animate the lamp a little bit. So let's go ahead and start off with the roughness value. So hover your cursor over top of roughness when it's on frame 0. Make sure it's all the way set to 1. Hit I. On frame 10, I want to pull this all the way to like 0.1. Yeah, we'll hit maybe not 0.1, maybe like there, so maybe like 0.4. Hit I, go to frame 50, maybe put it to like there, which is like 0.05. Hit I, and then we can go ahead and go to frame 100, pull it back up to maybe 0.8, hit I, and then 110, we will pull it all the way back up to 1. There we go. Actually, I want a little bit of a burst. So in between, so on frame 105, I will actually pull it all the way up to 0.3, hit I, and then it kind of like does like this. So that looks cool. Yeah, nice. So we have this now. This is what we have so far, which looks really, really cool. So I really like that quite a bit. Now I think what I want to do is maybe we will have it so that it doesn't do that right on frame 50. So maybe we'll pull it up to there, and then on frame okay, so on frame 105 we'll pull it all the way down to this level, and we'll have these weird like little dot things. It looks really cool to me. Yeah, maybe not, because it looks kind of jittery like that, actually. Maybe we just won't have that at all. Okay, cool. We'll do like this. That looks really cool. So we have this little thing that comes up, that goes in, and then kind of comes down. I want to scale this down a little bit, just a little tiny bit, like that. Looks really, really cool. Now what I want to do is I'll grab the lamp in the inside. So we'll grab the lamp, and I want to turn the brightness up to maybe 5,000. So it's a little bit more insane, maybe 10,000 actually. Yeah, 10,000 looks really good actually. So I'll put it on 10,000. Really, really super bright lamp. Looks really cool. I want to uncheck shadow as well, because I don't really need that. It's just like causing space. And we can also go ahead and I want to change the color blue a little bit. Yeah, that was cool. All right, so maybe a little bit more saturation. Saturation, not all the way up, but a little bit more. There we go. Nice, cool. So I'll go to the main tab, check bloom on. So we have a little bit of bloom. I want a little bit more bloom than that though. So we'll pause it on a good place right there. We'll turn the radius up a wee bit, turn the intensity up a little bit. And then we have that, which looks really cool. So it kind of comes out. I want this to be a little bit more violent. It's not violent enough. I want it to just like slap me in the face when it comes out, you know? I want to just boom, boom, you know? Also, we can also scale it a bit. So we'll go ahead and scale it a tiny bit by, so on frame 0, I want to have it not all the way scaled down, but we'll scale it. So on frame 10, it'll be about that size. So hit scale. Then on frame 0, we'll put all the way down to there. Hit S to scale. Hit I into the scale keyframe. And then kind of goes like that. Boom. And then on frame 50, maybe it gets a little bit bigger. I scale. Yeah. Okay. And then on frame 100, it kind of maybe goes back down a little bit. Hit I scale. And then on frame 1, maybe even 112, it just scales down a lot. So we have this now. Yeah, you can definitely see that like scaling up now a little bit, which looks really, really cool. All right, now that that is done, we'll go ahead and add maybe a couple more. Maybe we'll switch the texture from clouds to maybe noise. So it's actually, oh wait, it was hard. Like, ooh, hard does not really help us out because the bloom is just way too strong on that. Holy man. All right, let's see what this looks like without the bloom real quick so we can just get a look for it. Oh, that looks really cool. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's work with this a little bit actually. So, oh man, that looks really, really cool. It's like some kind of shard rift. It looks like a rift. That looks really, really cool. I really like the animation of that as well. Can I actually make it so that it disappears slower? Oh yeah, okay, that looks really cool. I like that. That looks very cool. I want to turn the bloom back on, but we'll lessen it. Whoa. So let's do the brightest point, which is about right there, I believe. And we'll turn the threshold up a little bit. Maybe the knee down a little bit, radius maybe up a little bit like that. Okay, so now we have something like this, which just looks really cool. I really, really like that effect. Now, changing the textures, obviously, like I said, is going to give us very different results. So we can even change the type of noise, like this, which looks really cool. But I don't really think anything's gonna look really cooler than that original, or maybe the original Perlin. The original Perlin looks really cool. The improved Perlin, the improved Perlin looks really cool as well. Now I'm gonna grab our camera, and I'm gonna zoom our camera in a little bit, so it's a little far away now. I'll do something like that actually, and the freaking bloom is still a little strong, so we'll turn the intensity down, maybe to like there, maybe a little bit more bloom. 0.4. Oh, that looks really cool. Okay, let me grab our camera, go down to the camera tab, and we'll go to viewport display and turn Passer Par 2 all the way up so we can only see what the camera sees. Now we have something like this, and that looks very, very cool. I really enjoyed that. And there's a couple of things we can do. We can of course change the color of the lamp. We can make it so that the lamp itself changes color. But I don't really think that's too necessary. I think it looks cool without the bloom as well. It looks really good without the bloom too. So we might just leave it without the bloom, if I'm honest. It looks really cool either way, if I'm being completely honest with you. Now, the last thing that I want to do is I kind of want to add in, what do I want to do? I feel like there's a point where I don't want to add things anymore because it's just going to mess up something that we already have. So let's go ahead and actually just take this time to step back and be like, all right, this is definitely all that we're going to do here. Now, I do want to add just a tiny bit of bloom. The bloom looks really cool, but it is taking away from some of the like sharpness of it, I believe. So So the final thing that I want to do before this tutorial is over is duplicate this and add a wireframe and do a couple things with animation, make it look really cool and polish it off. So make sure when you have this selected, make sure the camera is checked on, or else it won't render properly. It will render like weird and whatnot. So with the subdivision surface on, it looks like this. You can choose to have it on and off or not. It is lagging, as you can see, because it's like taking a lot more time. But it looks like this with the subdivision on. So it looks like that, and it comes in, and then it goes back up and then gets rid of itself. So that's really cool. It also looks cool without the subdivision surface as well. It looks cool both ways. Just decide which one you like for yourself. Really sharp like that, or the smoother one. I like the smoother one. I like the sharp one. I like both of them. We'll just go ahead and disable that in the viewport for now so we can see a little easier. Now hit Shift D, duplicate this, right click to cancel that movement, and we're going to get rid of the subdivision surface on that one. I'm going to add a modifier. This modifier is going to be nothing other than the wireframe. And we're going to go ahead, and as you can see, it looks really, really cool here in the beginning with all these little triangles. Looks very, very, very cool. So let's go ahead and start animating this. I want to turn the thickness all the way down to, you guessed it, that's right, 0. So hit I on that right there. And then we'll go ahead and about maybe at frame 22, we'll put it back on 0.2. Or actually, not 0.2, 0.02, sorry. Like that, hit I, and then when it comes together like this, around maybe 30 or 40-ish, we can change, oh, maybe 40 like this, 45. We'll change it down, we'll change it back down to almost 0, so 0.002, so we get those nice little outlines like right there. Hit I, and then on frame 50, we will just fully go ahead and put it back to 0 there. Hit I to insert that. Actually, wait, that looks kind of cool on 2. Oh, that's kind of cool on 2 still. Yeah, we might leave it on 2 all the way until we get to about here on frame 90. Hover cursor, hit 2. Hit I, sorry, not 2. And then we'll, when it scales back up to this point, we will go ahead and maybe do a little cool animation like this. So frame 100, we will go ahead and put this up to So, like I said, hope that you enjoyed today's tutorial. It's a lot of messing around with keyframes, obviously, and a lot of fiddling around with some stuff. But once you get it in the end, it looks very cool. And obviously, there's the second variety where we have the subsurf on. We have the subsurf on for the first icosphere, so we can play that. It's gonna lag a lot, but we can still play that. Let's go ahead and turn maybe the viewport down to 1. See, it comes up, of course, in slow motion. Not super slow motion, but it's in slower motion. And then it comes through and comes down like that. We can also actually put the subdivision surface on the icosphere one that has wireframe as well. We can put that back just to see what it looks like real quick. I don't think it'll look too cool, actually. It looks really cool the way that it is. But let's just take a look at what it might look like if you're to put the subsurf on the second icosphere with the wireframe. So this little triangle stuff like that. Not too bad, not too bad, not too bad. That's actually pretty decent. Let's go ahead and actually save this up real quick. I'm just going to go ahead and hit save just as untitled. And we'll go ahead and just play this. You can see that it will play super slowly, but just so we can get a couple ideas of what it looks like. Comes up like that. That looks really pretty cool as well. Different kind of cool though. Comes up, it's really small, compact, really sharp, and it kind of bursts out like that. Cool little shockwave, little particle looking things kind of fade away. The big one comes back like the hex pattern, comes through, and then doesn't dissolve. It doesn't dissolve with the subsurf on. Interesting. Interesting. So you would probably have to turn the, let's go ahead and actually do that real quick. Let's turn the lamp light down. So on frame 1, on 200 maybe. On frame 200, we'll go ahead and change this. Hit I, hover your cursor over top of that, hit I, and then go to the last frame. We'll change it down to 0, and then hit I. There we go. So it kind of fades away on its own. There we go. Doesn't really fade away too quickly because let's actually put the another keyframe right here on 180 because it's so bright. It takes a long time to dim itself at the end. So let's go ahead and put it on 201. Let's put this on 1000 and then hit I for that. And then when it scrolls down, it will actually get less bright over time, like that. So now we have that. So like I said, super difficult. We can also do the same thing in the beginning as well. So make sure this is on 0, then on frame like 10 or whatever that is, hit I, and we'll just put it on 0, just so it's fully black when it starts off, and then it opens up, and you see the lights kind of come on there as the circle forms and whatnot. Looks very cool, like I said. But I do think I like the version without the subsurf better. So we'll just have to go ahead and take a look once again at the other one. So let's go ahead and hide that, both of those on that one, and also hide both of those on that one. Now we can play it real speed. You can see it comes in sharp like that, little cool glass looking shockwave rift looking thing comes out and then disappears. Very, very cool stuff. Hope you ladies and gentlemen enjoyed it. This is a lot of fiddling around with keyframes like I said earlier, but I will see you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next one, but until then, bye bye.